Welcome back to The Average Kitchen. Super excited about today's episode. The new Ninja Possible Pot, I believe it's called. Really excited. We haven't really tested out any of Ninja's, I guess, non-plug-in products. We ordered the knife set, we ordered the pan, we ordered the pot, we ordered all kinds of stuff. We're still waiting for stuff to come in. The pot's arrived. We're gonna run it through some tests today. Comes with this little ladle, spoon on top, which is kind of neat. Really kind of cool feature with having these holes, which are drain holes, but they're also steam holes. Whenever you're boiling pasta or anything like that. And then you could see, it's quite a handsome product, I must say. So it's got a rack, a steaming rack, but also a roasting rack is what they call it. So it sits, I don't know, roughly 1.5 inches off the bottom of the pot. They must not be too concerned about it scratching because it's metal on metal. So it comes in a variety of colors. Jamie picked the blue. It's quite nice looking. So all range capable, 10-year guarantee. Good on electric, gas, ceramic, and induction stoves. 7-quart capacity. Oven safe up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Dishwasher safe, induction ready. It says a never stick coating that won't stick, chip, or flake. So we're gonna run it through some tests today and see what it can do. It actually goes in the oven as well, and we're gonna try that. And we're gonna do a crazy test where we're gonna burn a bunch of cheese in the bottom of it and see how easily the cheese cleans out. So I picked up some broccoli here. I didn't actually really know that broccoli floated, but anyway. I don't know about where you live in the world, but in Canada right now, it's the winter. Produce is crazy expensive. So I'm gonna show you, just for fun, what $5 Canadian will get you as far as broccoli goes. Not very much. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments about where you live, and do you guys face seasonal prices on produce like we do here in Canada? So you can see that's maybe 2 servings worth of broccoli. So we're actually gonna get some hot water in the bottom of this pot, and we're actually gonna steam it much like a double broiler. So I'm very excited to try that. All right, as you can see here, I brought the water line basically just up to the bottom of the rack, so none of the broccoli is submerged. There's only roughly, again, 1.5 inches of water in there. Gas stove, so it should be relatively quick on full max. And as most of you know, broccoli doesn't take very long if you like it not super mushy like I don't. So I'm actually gonna turn that off, and you can see it absolutely looks beautiful. So I'm gonna scoop all of that out into a bowl here. All right, so the broccoli's still steaming hot, but let's give it a try.
Very good.
Probably could have went another minute, but that's okay. I'd rather it be a little on the firm side than like super mushy, but very good. So let me get things cleaned up and let's try something else. But we wanted to really show or try to see what this non-stick surface can do. So the goal is to throw a bunch of cheese, which is the worst, as we know. Cheese and eggs are pretty much the worst for sticking. Throw it in here, it's super hot, and then we're gonna turn off the burner and let it cool, and we'll see how easy it is to clean this. All right, so I just turned the element off. So let's let that cool down, harden up, and we'll see how easy it is to clean. All right, so our pot is cooled down to the point where I can hold onto the handles. I can show you your worst case scenario nightmare. This caked on burnt cheese. Now, if we were really gonna give this the full test, we would let this sit for like 12 hours. But if your nightmare happens and you burn a bunch of cheese in the bottom of this, you would wanna be on this as soon as possible. So that's what we're gonna do. It's cooled down, it's not hot. As you can see, I'm holding the handles. I wanna see if paper towel will just wipe that out. Just wipe it out. Wow. Wow. Now, some people might eat that.
Taste test?
Not awesome, but I've had worse. So, as we continue here, as we're trying to eat some burnt cheese, you can see there's some greasy residue. Again, paper towel. Now, does this pot still need to be washed? Yes. However, with a double thing of paper towel, this could almost be like a paper towel, like a Bounty quicker picker-upper commercial. Let's have a look. That is pretty impressive. Let's be honest. Tell me I'm wrong. All right, we got boiling water here. As you can see, the steam is exiting on both sides of the lid that have these perforated holes in them, which we showed earlier. So the water is nice and salted. I watched something years ago that from an Italian chef that said, when you boil pasta, the water should be as salty as the sea. So I think we're actually gonna do both bags. So that's a good amount of pasta. I did pop the lid off during the cook, but there was no boil over whatsoever. So now, Jamie, if you could join me at the sink, this is gonna be interesting how this works. The draining of the pasta with the lid on. So it's a slow drain. And then I'm just gonna transfer it into a stainless steel pot only because I want to continue to use this pot. We're gonna cook up some ground beef and then we're gonna add some marinara and we're gonna make basically like a beef and pasta dish, whatever you wanna call it. All right, so we're gonna jump right into this. I'm gonna add some garlic to our pot here, as well as some Spanish onion that I already cut up. Just give these a little quick saute. I might add a little tiny splash of avocado oil, not much. As soon as your onions start to become translucent, we're pretty good. So I'll give that another minute. All right, so I'm gonna add a generous amount of ground beef here. Time will tell if everything's gonna fit in this pot. I'm certainly maxing it out. All right, so we're back over to the island. I did skip a few steps we didn't show on video, but I had 3 cups of homemade marinara that I ended up mixing in with the ground beef. Added a little bit of beef bouillon to that beef to sort of like give it that punch of strong flavor. As mentioned, there's roughly 2.2 pounds or a kilo of pasta, which is quite a bit. You can see that the pot's pretty full. It looks beautiful. So now we're gonna hit it with a ton of cheese. So we got just some standard cheddar, and then we got a bunch of mozzarella. So I would say we're maxing out this pot. I don't think you would be able to get too much more in it, which is great. We get a lot of people from the UK and we love you guys, but they call the stove a hob, or the oven, I guess the hob. Is the stove the hob too? So we're gonna get the hob preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're gonna throw this in and we're just gonna bake it, no lid, bake it for probably 45 minutes. Into the hob. All right, so we just pulled this out of the oven. As you can see, the cheese looks awesome. I did bump up the temp a little bit because I wanted to get that browning on the cheese. So I went up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit for the last 8 minutes or whatever it was. Obviously, as you can see, an obnoxious amount of cheese, like a humongous amount of cheese. But at the end of the day, we showed that it could easily go from the stovetop, cooktop into the oven without issue. It's still raging hot. So I'm not gonna dip into it right now, but you get the idea that obviously Jamie and I were sort of joking, like this isn't really a recipe video, but we did cook something because we wanted to show how you can transition from one thing to the next. So let's talk about our video. The cheese test I actually thought was really fun to do. Ripping hot pot, throw in a cup of cheese, melt it, quasi burn it, you know, throw it, take it off the stove, let it sit for a little while, and then see how easily it is to clean. Very impressed. The little rack, I think it would be really cool to do like a whole chicken in it. Drippings, a little bit of chicken bouillon, chicken broth at the bottom, then make a pan gravy afterwards. I think it would be really, really good. But I think did a good job on the broccoli. And obviously we did a quick sear, quick saute on some garlic and onions. So we really wanted to sort of showcase what this pan says that they can do. $129 US, so not cheap, but overall very impressed. The drain feature, although a little bit slow, would be my only complaint. A little bit slow draining through these holes. These holes on this side are even smaller, but got the job done. No spillage or anything like that. Overall, really, really impressed. You're probably wondering, Mark, where did you get this amazing looking Average Kitchen merch? Well, we have a merch store. Jamie will put a link in the description. Check it out. Check out some of our other videos as well. We've reviewed a ton of products now, and we've got a huge lineup of new products that we're gonna review as well. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you on the next one.